My name is Kubo. I look after my mother mostly. What was father like?
He was just like you. Strong and so handsome.
Ugh, Mother. I use magic to tell stories. If you must blink, do it now. About epic battles, warriors, and monsters. But I had no idea my stories were actually true.
We've been looking for you for so long.
¿Cómo están, chicos?
Bien.
There you go, a little bit. Have you been able to enjoy Miami?
We just got here. This is both Art and my first time here, so it's been quite a thrill to be here.
Oh, cool. Well, I hope you get to see a little bit of the city before you
Yes.
go.
Don't mess with the monkey.
Well, Travis, talk to me a little bit about this film. Why Japanese culture? I mean, I'm fascinated by it, but I want to know why you decided to bring this onto the screen.
Well, I think there's two things at play here, really, and both of them I see as kind of gifts from my parents in various ways. The main thing really is the convergence of this love of epic fantasy combined with the love of the transcendent art of Japan. And when I was a kid, I was a huge fan of fantasies, and that was a gift from my mom. She loved Tolkien, she loved C.S. Lewis, and that was something that she introduced me to when I was a kid. And on my dad's part, he let me tag along on one of his business trips to Japan when I was about 8 years old. And I grew up in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and it was, from the moment I set foot in Japan, it was like I'd been transported to another world. It was so completely unlike anything I'd ever experienced. And that was a real introduction for me. It was an eye-opener, and I was completely in the thrall of this incredible, beautiful culture. And this film is the convergence of those two things. It's the transcendent art of Japan and incredible epic fantasy merged together. And it's an art form, and it's a place, and it is a mythology and folktales that we typically don't see on the big screen, and it's something I've loved basically since my entire life, and I really wanted to see that on the big screen and introduce audiences to this world.
Well, it was absolutely beautiful, and you did a great job with that. Now, Art, how does it feel being the voice of Kubo?
Yeah, it's really amazing to be part of something so artistic and brilliant. The patience you need to make stop motion is great. So immediately, whenever I knew what Laika did, then I wanted to make something with them. And whenever this opportunity came around, it was such a dream come true.
And Art, what did you find most fascinating about the stop motion?
I think it was just sort of the patience it takes, and also the fact that so many people have such a passion for it. And it's hard to believe, I have such a passion for acting, but it's hard to believe some people have such a strong passion for something like this, because it is so time consuming. But whenever you go to the studios and you see how they put such attention to detail on things, it really is brilliant.
And now, Travis, what was the biggest obstacle using stop motion for a film of this magnitude?
Everything.
Yeah, absolutely. It's true.
Telling a big epic story in this medium kind of flies in the face of sanity, really. I mean, stop motion is probably the worst possible way there is to make a movie. I mean, we make these things at the pace of a glacier. This movie took 5 years for us to make. And essentially, if you know how we make these films, it's in a big warehouse, and we shoot these things on tabletops that have been gussied up to look like a real place. And we wanted to make it look like essentially a stop-motion David Lean film or a Kurosawa epic. And doing something that feels like it's lensed on an endless, majestic vista when in fact it's shot in a warehouse is kind of silly on its face. But we absolutely love the challenge. I mean, I think one of the things about Laika artists is that we always want to tell new and interesting stories, to explore different aspects of what it means to be human and dive into new worlds and new genres. And that's what this film offered us an opportunity to do, to really tell a big, epic story that at its core is a really beautiful, intimate family story. And that got us all very excited.
It really is. And where do you see the future of Laika? Because we've seen such amazing films. Coraline, one of my favorites actually, come from there. Where do you see the future of Laika?
I think the exciting thing for me and the whole crew at Laika is that we work in a medium that's a century old. This goes back to the dawn of cinema and stop motion. And even though we've been doing this, for a good long while, and the medium itself is so much older even than our participation in it, it really does feel like we're just scratching the surface. When we started Kubo, we had no idea how we were going to make this world come to life, and yet the crew did it and did a beautiful job of it. And I think what that does for me, it gives me confidence that we could basically tell any story and our team can pull it off. And that means you know, the sky's the limit from here on out.
Well, thank you so much. Absolutely beautiful work, and I love seeing you here. I love you in Game of Thrones too.
Thank you.
Do you need a little help?
No. Yes.